Ms. Schaake has the floor.
Thank you, President, Commissioner and colleagues. We keep hearing that there's no military solution to the war in Syria. But in fact, we are all witnessing it. Indeed, it's not a solution, but it's a reality that cannot be denied. 400,000 civilians are trapped in eastern Ghouta. They're starving and they're being bombed by Syrian and Russian forces, despite the UN ceasefire. And of course, Ghouta was a so-called de-escalation zone for those besieged in Aleppo, Idlib, and other areas of the country in the past. But instead, the moving of people into one area seems to have put a target on their head. And the world, the EU, cannot stand by. We also see the use of chemical weapons again, but what are we doing? After endless vetoes, we saw Russia last week stalling the UN Security Council resolution for other criteria that it wanted, and clearly Putin only plays by his own cynical rules. And together with Iran, had forced an exception to target so-called terrorists, despite the ceasefire. And that really means, in reality, that women, children, hospitals, schools are now accused of being terrorists or harboring them. And this cruelty must stop. There must be and there will be consequences for Assad, Putin and Khamenei for what they are doing. And we must do more as Europeans towards a political solution negotiated under UN auspices. Accountability for the brutalities should be our key priority. There cannot be peace without justice. But now, first and foremost, we have to actively push for guarantees that make sure humanitarian aid reaches those in need. And let me say that the EU, as the biggest donor of humanitarian and development aid, must look into the terrible cases of sexual abuse to refugees that are most vulnerable by aid organisation workers that are supposed to help them and not attack them. It is an absolute scandal that we must seek an investigation into. And frankly, I think it is time, after the, however many debate we're having today, to stop repeating empty phrases. We must take a more active and stronger political role for the EU and prioritise peace, accountability and safety for those on the run from the horrendous violence as well as sexual attacks that we're witnessing today.